Well, it looks like Call of Duty is forcing their players to move on to the new Warzone. As we are about to discuss in today's commentary, Warzone Caldera, one of the original Warzones, is about to be shut down at the end of September. And we gotta wonder what it means for everybody else, especially for those who bought the bundles as part of Warzone Caldera. So we're gonna read an article in a moment and then we'll discuss. But first, let's talk about the tweet that sparked the whole thing. And this is from the official Call of Duty page on Twitter. And it says, as Warzone moves ahead with exciting new content and experiences to come, Warzone Caldera will shut down on September 21st. All Caldera gameplay, player progression, inventories, and online services will expire on that date. Learn more in this blog post, which we will get to in just a moment. We will get to in just a moment. And I'm gonna tell you, look at all the replies. There are a lot of replies here. And then look at this guy, Hunter TV. He says instead of building off of what they had, they are shutting down and adding Warzone 1 features that we got throughout the years to Warzone 2 and labeling as so-called new. Correct. That's facts. And then look at this. This guy. Fix your logo to fit the recent announcement from Raymond Cash. He said Activision with an L. And yeah, Activision has been taking a lot of L's lately, especially with their announcements and the fact that they couldn't keep their servers safe, and the fact that they shut down SM2 and a few other projects like SM2 and other fan-made projects. And then we're going to be talking about this. Regarding purchase content in Warzone Caldera from Modern Warfare 2019, Black Ops Cold War, or Vanguard, that will continue to be accessible in those specific games. But we have to talk about that too in a moment. Because this reply from Rob and Brothers talks about one thing in particular. What happens when the the service goes down on 21st? So Rob asks, so what happens to all the money people spent on bundles specifically to use this game in Caldera? Are they limited to using them in the multiplayer titles that aren't even safe to play? And the Brothers, Buthers, replies with only free-to-play players will lose everything unless they buy the MW 2019. And ST4Y Code replies with and Cold War and Vanguard, and Brother says that's right. We'll talk about that when we talk about this article in a moment. And then another one right here. They're shutting down the best Warzone map of all time. He wanted this map. And the reply is, and then of course the original map was Van Dansk. Everybody remember Van Dansk? Everybody? That map? Yeah. Prison cell. Everybody drops in prison. The prison area. But anyway, let's talk about this article. The blog from the Call of Duty website. An update on the Call of Duty Warzone Caldera. As Warzone moves ahead with exciting new experiences to come, Warzone Caldera will shut down on September 21st, 2023. All Caldera gameplay, player progression, inventories, and online services will expire on that date. As of September 21st, 2023, Call of Duty Warzone Caldera will shut down as our teams focus on future Call of Duty content, including the current Warzone free-to-play experience. We all had an incredible Warzone experiences across Call of Duty franchise since its first launch, including those in Warzone Caldera. For those players who haven't jumped over to the current Warzone activities, expect a vast amount of gameplay choices across the Battle Royale maps, including Season 4's new map Vandal, which is released, as well as ranked play. The DMZ beta featuring 5 different extraction zones, Black Saw offerings, and more. Of course. Players have prepared for even more Warzone content across consoles and PC, as well as a new era of Battle Pass Battle Royale on the go with the launch of Call of Duty Warzone Mobile, which includes a shared Battle Pass and cross progression. The Call of Duty team and the studios look forward to sharing more details soon. Regarding purchased content in Warzone Caldera, from Modern Warfare 2019, Black Ops Cold War, or Vanguard, that will continue to be accessible in those specific games. Now, keep in mind, we have to talk about that in a moment, because if you want to keep those, free-to-play players cannot keep anything. They say, please note that the current Warzone Caldera shutdown has no impact on the current Warzone gameplay, inventory, or player progression in Al Mazrah or the other available maps, as we look forward to continuing with you in that new Warzone experience. Thank you to the entire Call of Duty community and to our developers for making Call of Duty Warzone an amazing place to play together. For further information about regarding Warzone Caldera, we're going to take a look at the support page, which is right here. And we have the frequently asked questions about the Call of Duty Warzone Caldera sunset, or shutdown, whatever you want to call it. Let's take a look at the questions. Number 1, will I still be able to play Caldera? The answer will be no. Number 2, what will happen to my progress, inventory, and purchase content? If we expand this, I'll link to you guys the articles in the description below. Warzone Caldera game progression and inventories will no longer be accessible after the game servers are shut down on September 21st. However, any purchased content that is accessible in COD Modern Warfare 2019, COD Black Ops Cold War, or Call of Duty Vanguard will still be available in those games on the same account used to play Warzone Caldera. That means you have to buy, if you want to keep your stuff and you've been only focusing on Caldera, you have to buy Modern Warfare 2019 edition, you have to buy the Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War game, and you have to buy the Call of Duty Vanguard game if you bought anything from the purchases based on Caldera. That means you're spending at least, if we go by today's standards with those games, $180 plus tax. I live in California, so that means at least $200 in total for those 3 games just to keep everything. At least $200. Of course, it's going to depend on your state, but you get my point. What will happen to my Call of Duty points? COD points will remain on the platform on which they were purchased. Previously purchased COD points are transferable between COD games on the same platform of your linked Activision account. Please note, you can only spend COD points on the platform on which they were purchased, but items you purchase with COD points are shared across the platforms linked to your Activision account. Number 4, how will Warzone Caldera shutdown impact other COD games? Warzone and all other COD games are separate experiences and will not be affected by the Warzone Caldera shutdown. And if you relaunch it, it's going to be a connection error. And there are no plans to have Caldera come back. They will sunset it for good on September 21st. And make sure you delete the game from your hard drive, of course. Okay, now we gotta talk about why is this thing important in terms of like not only a gamer's perspective, but we have to talk about it from a money perspective. Okay, I'm gonna go full screen for this one. So, from a player's perspective, a lot of people enjoyed the experiences of Caldera. I played Caldera a little bit, and it was a fun night. It was. I'm not going to cap. It was actually fun. It was actually fun for a while, and then of course I had other games to play. But it was a fun time. It was actually a cool time for Caldera. So I'm not going to cap on that one. However, it means that players who played only Warzone Caldera will now have to spend at least $200 to keep their inventory of stuff, especially if you're only playing free to play. That means you have to buy COD Modern Warfare 2019. You have to buy COD Vanguard. You have to buy Vanguard. You have to buy Cold War. And recently we have been discussing how those games, especially War and Cold War, has been not safe for players to play, as we discovered that there are hackers that can literally shut down your lobby, and not only that, they can actually do harm to your computer as they can steal your IP address. We discussed this when I first started this podcast or this commentary series. To make sure you understand that Call of Duty games are no longer or almost no longer safe to play. But the fact that Call of Duty nowadays, or excuse me, Activision is trying to get you to play the new Warzone is concerning now that we discovered recently that even Modern Warfare 2 is not safe from hackers. Just recently we discovered that that one was not safe from hackers. They're doing the exact same thing with Cold War, where you can actually get booted out of a game for no reason, and it's because of the hackers using this program that we discussed a few commentaries ago. So it's a wild time for Call of Duty. First, they shut down SM2. Then they shut down X Labs. Now they're forcing people to get to Modern Warfare, the new Warzone, because they're shutting down Caldera. And now we understand that no game is safe from hackers. Okay, so yeah, it's going. You're gonna so if you want to keep them, if you want to keep them bundles, you have to buy each individual game, and each individual game is $60. Is it worth it? I'm not sure because I have not played War Cold War in a while, and I do not plan to play Cold War for a long time unless I really want to. Okay, that's gonna do it for today's commentary. Make sure you guys, if you really want to keep your bundles, you have to buy them games. Okay, so that's it for now. We'll see you guys tonight for Xtify and Beta.